chapter 5. Remember, O Lord, what is come upon us. Behold, and see our reproach. Our inheritance is turned unto strangers, our houses unto aliens. We are become orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. We have drunk our water for money. Our wood cometh to us for a price. To our very necks we are pursued. We labor and have no rest. We have given the hand to Egypt and to Assyria to have bread enough. Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have borne the iniquities. Servants rule over us. There is none to deliver us out of the hand. We get our bread with the peril of our lives because of the sword of the wilderness. Our skin is hot like an oven because of the burning heat of famine. They have ravished the women in Zion, the maidens in the city of Judah. Princes are hanged up by their hand, and the faces of the elders are not honored. The young men have borne the meal, and the children have stumbled under the wood. The elders have ceased from the gate, the young men from their music. The joy of our heart is ceased, our dance is turned into mourning. The crown is falling from our head. Woe unto us, for we have sinned. For this our heart is faint, for these things our eyes are dim. For the mountain of Zion, which is desolate, the foxes walk upon it. You, O Lord, are enthroned forever. Your throne is from generation to generation. Wherefore dost you forget us forever, and forsake us so long a time? Turn you us unto you, O Lord, and we shall be turned. Renew our days as of old. You canst not have utterly rejected us, and be exceeding wroth against us. All right, let's go back up to verse 1, and we will be continuing now in these Lamentations. Want to bring the attention to that the chapter 5 is written slightly different than the other 4 chapters that was before us, this other work that was before, and we're going to find that there's none of these spaces between the verses in this, and it all is basically one, except for there is a space now at 18. Each of the chapters of Lamentations has 22 verses, except for chapter 3. It has 66, and that's 3 of 22. That's 3 times 22, and we're going to see that 3 times 22 is the first 3, or chapter 1, 2, and 4, and 5 is different than all the rest. And with that in mind, we'll pick it up in verse 1. Remember, O Lord, what is come upon us. Behold, and see our reproach. Remember, O Lord, call into remembrance now what has come upon us. Behold, and see our reproach. Because they were made a reproach, this reproach, they was looked down upon, they was looked at as none with understanding. We find that this was what God said was going to happen. 2, our inheritance is turned unto strangers, and our houses unto aliens. And this was what was going on. This inheritance that we're talking about, though, was the Word of God, and the understanding that comes from the knowledge of God, even the law which He gave you for your own good, for your own knowledge, for your own understanding. See, this was the inheritance from the beginning for Levi. This was his inheritance, where everyone else was given land, given inheritance. God was the inheritance of Levi. And his inheritance has been turned unto strangers. They had come into the house of God and was taken all the things that belonged to God, and our houses unto aliens, even these houses which God give you to dwell in for protection. Every one is like a tabernacle, a little shelter to get up under. 3, we are become orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. And this orphans, these are those ones that are left. They are become deserted, And what we're talking about is a generation. We are become orphans, these ones that have been left, deserted, and fatherless, because the fatherless is the one who would teach, the one who would instruct and bring up in the way of the law. And our mother is the feminine. Our mother is the understanding of that, and that's one who would also instruct in the understandings of our father. They are as widows. They are as one who no longer has a teacher, this understanding now that has been left without a teacher. For we have drunk our water for money, and our wood cometh to us for a price. And this water we have drunk for money. This water is understanding. This water is the truth. This water is knowledge. See, and for money. Why? Because that's what it costs. You have to give up, and we'll find you have to labor for it. You have to labor for understanding. See, you have to labor for knowledge. We labor, we go to work to try to get the money, this earthly understanding even, so that we can get knowledge. We can send children to school, teach them, bring them up. We'll find out though. See, there's problems in that system. And because that's still what's going on, we are drinking our water. Our understandings for money. For money, we have to pay for knowledge. Our wood comes to us for a price, and our wood's that which kindles a fire. This wood which we would use to kindle a fire, we have to cook our substance, prepare substance. See, we use a fire to give light so that we can see. See, there's different uses for the wood, and it's coming to us for a price as well, and even this light. So our light's coming to us for enlightenment even. We have to pay a price for that. We are caused to serve. It's a servitude. And that's what we find out was happening to Jeremiah. They was being brought into captivity and brought into servitude. At that time it was fully fleshful, but at this time, see, because of the lullaby, because of the sleep, and the lack of understanding of the knowledge of God, we'll find, see, God did remove himself. 5. To our very necks we are pursued. We labor and have no rest. To our very necks we are pursued. We are bound. See, and this is what that is. We are bound to our very necks. This are to the limit. Only thing that we have left is the head to think with, and we labor and have no rest. This is because the flesh has been totally bound up, and it's been brought into servitude even, and it does labor. See, it's been brought into the servitude because they do not keep the law. See, they do not keep the law of the flesh. The flesh will suffer, the flesh will mourn, because we have to keep the law, both the understanding which is higher, and we have to keep the understanding in the flesh, that the sins of the flesh stay bound. But this was a generation that had left go. This we're talking about, this generation that had been born into this. 6. We have given the hand to Egypt and to Assyria to have bread enough, and we have given the hand, our work, to Egypt, this land of enclosures. To that land of enclosures, our work goes into it so that we can serve, and to Assyria to have bread enough, to have substance enough. We labor even in Assyria. Assyria is that step up. It's a step forward. It's the progress of man, and it represents an altar that they made. See, they made an altar there, and they cause you to labor and work now for the substance thereof. Because there's no understanding. You have no understanding of the higher understanding even, or of the lesser understanding. And this understanding is simply to have knowledge and wisdom of the law of God, which he give you for your own good. 7. Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have borne their iniquities. Our fathers have sinned, these ones who come before us. They have transgressed the law of God. They have trespassed his ordinances, and his statutes, and they are not. They have no understanding. They are not. God's done away with them. He sent them off, lest they turn. And we have borne their iniquities. See, if we have borne their perversions, we have inherited this. And this is that generation who will hear and wake up and see what's going on around you. See, because God has fully described it. 8, servants rule over us, and there is none to deliver us out of their hand. And these servants, we're going to find out, are just Babylon. Babylon, see, the servant, my servant, this king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, this prophet that protects the crown, that's who it was. These servants that God gave to rule over, and they did rule over, and they do rule over. See, and there is none to deliver us out of their work, out of this work they've set up in the earth even. But God caused them to. See, God's controlling all of it. 9, we get our bread with peril for our lives because of the sword of the wilderness, and we get our bread, our substance, with peril, see, because of labor and the have to work for it. You have to buy it from them. Why? You think they have it. They don't have nothing, see. This understanding they're trying to sell you is ignorance. Because of the sword of the wilderness. And this sword was the judgment of God. See, it represents the judgment of God. And what it is the transgression. See, and because when the sword goes forth, when it divides, see, it slays. It's the law of God when it goes forth in judgment. See, it slays because of the transgression which has come upon your fathers. The sword of the wilderness, that judgment of the wilderness. That wilderness is that place where the words are driving out. See, where the words are driving out, it's that place of probation. It's that time of probation. That's where they were in the wilderness, see. And the wilderness was the place where the words were driving out. 10. Our skin is hot like an oven because of the burning heat of famine. Our skin is hot like the oven, this burning heat of famine. This fire from the lack of substance. See, substance is what causes famine. The lack of understanding, see, the lack of knowledge from the law of God is what causes this famine. That is the famine for the Word of God, for the understanding, for knowledge, wisdom. See, God give you the law in the beginning for that. See, that is your substance. That is the bread. And our skin is hot like an oven. Why? Because you're standing in a fire. 11. They have ravished the women in Zion and the maidens in the city of Judah. They have ravished the women. They have ravished that which is from man. They have ravished the teachings that was in Zion. They have ravished the pure understanding of God. The maidens in the city of Judah. These maidens are those ones, these were the virgins. These are the ones that are set aside. The ones that are set aside, see, they were set aside there to bring forth true understanding and pure understanding, see, of the Word of God. In the cities of Judah, these cities are those places that were prepared for protection and had a guard in the cities of praisings. This place of praisings. 12, princes are hanged up by their hands. The faces of the elders are not honored. These princes, these rulers, these ones that go up and take that position, they're hung up. They're hanged up by their hands. By their works they're made known. That's what strung them up. The faces of the elders are not honored. These faces are just that which is made plain, that which is known. What they done, they are not honored because of that. See, because of what they done. What was that? They didn't obey the Word of God. They didn't observe the law of God. See, they had caused to error, had led astray. 13. The young men have borne the meal, and the children have stumbled under the wood. The young men are those that are, they're strong, they have strength, but they just ain't got all the understanding yet. They have great strength, but they just ain't got the understanding of the law, and they've been caused to have borne the meal, to become under the load, to do the work, to carry this, because their fathers have been taken away to ignorance. See, their fathers don't have no understanding, and now the young men have come up under the load to bear this up, and the children have stumbled under the wood. The wood is simply that which is being kindled for the fire. This is the next generation you're looking for, and they're just being used for kindling. See, they're being taken down and thrown in and thrown on the fire of ignorance. There's no understanding that comes from the law of God. No one's teaching the next generation, trying to pull them out, trying to keep them from that. No one's teaching the next generation, see, so that the young man can bear the load, can come up in strength and bring forth. 14, the elders have ceased from the gate, the young men from their music. These elders, these ones that had the position, these ones that have the position, these ones who are supposed to have understanding, see, they have ceased from the gate. God took them away, remember? Yeah, God's took them away. No one's paying attention to them. They ain't got no understanding. They've ceased from the gate. That gate is always the place of judgment, see. In the beginning, they come to the gate. They bring their cases. They're under these problems, their situations to the elders at the gate for judgment, so that they could teach understanding and bring and let it be known, the law of God. And these young men, from their music, they've ceased from their music. They've ceased from their joy. They've ceased from their pleasant things, because they're bearing the millstone. See, they're being forced to grind. 15, the joy of our heart is ceased, and our dance is turned into mourning. The joy of our heart, this joy of our essence, this pleasant things, they're gone. And our dance, our twirlings and our twistings around now are just turned into mourning. They're turned, what that is all these twistings and windings you've made, they've just now turned into sackcloth, is what it is. 16, the crown is fallen from our head. Woe unto us, for we have sinned. We have sinned, we have transgressed, we have trespassed the law of God, and the crown is fallen from our head. This crown, this covering, this encircling of understanding is fallen from our head. Our knowledge is taken away. God has caused us to be blind. See, God has caused us to be deaf. 17, for this our heart is faint. For these things our eyes are dim. For these things our heart, our essence is faint now, and brought down within. We are made weak for these things, and our perceptions are dimmed, and we can't see because of our fleshful understanding. We can't see because of this world and the things thereof, a world that exists beyond. We are brought down in our knowledges of the earth and our knowledges of flesh. We can't achieve no understanding. See, we have no understanding of higher things, of heavenly things. Why? We have sinned. Woe unto us, woe unto us. 18, for the mountain of Zion, which is desolate, the foxes walk upon it. And this mountain of Zion, this mountain that God parched, see, that high place, that mountain, that exalted place, that place lifted up, God made an example of. He parched it, punished it, and set it for a post. It's desolate. It's desolate. That's that higher place, that place of higher understanding even. This is the knowledge. That's a place of knowledge, a place of understanding God gave us in the beginning for our own good. The foxes walk upon it. These foxes are pretty much any critter that digs a hole. Any critter that digs a hole, and that's what's on it. These ones are going around digging holes, pits, snares, traps. See, that's what's going on. It's what was going on then. Jeremiah trying to make an example to try to warn this one whom God appointed, trying to warn the voice of the prophets, crying out. 19. You, O Lord, are enthroned forever. Your throne is from generation to generation. God, He is enthroned forever, see, and His throne is from generation to generation. This is what makes His throne. This is what makes God known. This is what gives you understanding that God does exist. He makes this example over and over, generation to generation, to show Himself magnificent in the earth. See, because God takes away understanding, God gives understanding to those that will turn, to those that will incline their ear to listen. 20. Why do you forget us forever and forsake us so long a time? Why do you forget us forever and forsake us for so long a time? God works. See, God has to work. God has to punish for your transgression. You have to be punished. You have to be punished enough where you can see the punishment. See, the transgression has to come to the full, because the transgression of the law is the punishment from it. See, God has turned. This is a period of probation. This is the wilderness. This is the place where the words drive out. For so long a time, for a period. 21. Turn you us unto you, O Lord, and we shall be turned. Renew our days as of old. Turn you us unto you. Turn you unto me, saith the Lord. Turn you unto me, and my understanding which I give you, my knowledge which I give you, my wisdom which I give you. No need for money. No need for labor for it. See, God pours it out. It's made known. It's understood. Renew our days as of old. Renew our days, these understandings. Renew our days. Renew these examples you made of us. See, from long ago even. Bring the understanding in of it. 22. You cannot have utterly rejected us and be exceedingly wroth against us. You cannot have utterly rejected us, and we know God never utterly rejects. God never utterly rejects. If you will turn, God will heal you. God said that's all it takes. Is turn. Turn you us unto you. Turn our understandings, Lord. Turn our knowledge. Turn our wisdom back to you. Give us understanding. Let us witness these things before us and understand and turn unto God. See? And God shall not be angry. He will not be wroth. God has to have a period of probation. That's where God does His work. There's this period of probation where God does His work. This is a thing that goes around in a circle. It's a constant thing. It's a wheel. It's going to come around, and God's going to parch the place. This place He's been making an example of. It's the judgment of God. It's a never-ending cycle. See, and men, when they see this cycle, when they understand these things, see, and they put away these devoted things and return to the pure understanding God give you in the beginning, that God give everybody for their own knowledge. No reason to purchase it. Go out and gather it. You don't got to send nobody to get it for you. Never did. God made an example from the beginning. He spoke from the beginning, even the ends of all things. We're going to move on, though. We're going to move on now out of Lamentations. We're going to go to the book of Ezekiel, and I hope to see you there.